can say about that. Okay, I think we're pretty well caught up now, so we're going to go ahead and jump in and get started. Hi, my name is Tom Levine, and I'm an award-winning author and Bram Stoker Award finalist of 9 novels published with traditional outlets like Random House and Simon & Schuster. I've also written for the comic book series Spawn, and today's little discussion about writing and storytelling is every scene is a fight scene. Now, I don't mean that literally, obviously. Wouldn't be me if I meant it literally. What I mean is this: everybody has tactics and everybody has goals. When you are having a conversation with somebody, when your characters are having a discussion of any kind, they have a goal. There's something that they want. It might be a small thing, it might be a big thing. It might be just a little piece of the puzzle that they are working on to get to the final part of the story, or maybe it's the big final conflict. I don't know. Either way, they want something, and what they say is going to be geared toward getting that thing. So I want you to think about it in your mind. Think about the actual physical activity of like a fencing match or a sword fight, right? We have parries, we have thrusts, we have lunges, we have the riposte. There's all kinds of great metaphors we could use from combat applied to, specifically in my mind, to dialogue. Think about this. When you were a kid and you wanted something from your mom or your dad or a teacher or whatever, you very quickly learned when to ask and when not to ask, right? If you were going to ask for money, for example, maybe from your mom or your dad, maybe doing that right after work wasn't the best time to do it. Maybe you knew, you picked up very quickly as a kid, you know what? They're going to be stressed out, they're going to be freaking out, they're going to be tired and cranky and whatever, so I'm going to wait until like Saturday morning or Sunday afternoon when they're just like hanging out and everything's fine. Like maybe that's a better time to ask for this money, right? That's a tactic. You had a goal, I need to get this money from my parents. And you had a tactic. I'm going to do it when they are most relaxed or most likely to say yes based on the things that I know about them. If you were going to ask for something for a teacher, you know, maybe you were under a time constraint because the thing is you didn't do the assignment and so you need an extra day to do it. Okay, but when's the best time to ask? Is it right before class starts? Is it after class? Is it on the way to lunch? Is it after school? Is there some other thing you can say or do that's going to make that teacher more likely to say yes? You figured that stuff out and you applied those tactics. Now, just like in the real world, not just because you have a tactic doesn't mean it's going to work, right? So not all of your tactics, not all of your characters' tactics are going to work every time, but they do have them. It's your job as the storyteller to, more frequently than not, thwart that thing. They have to lose, 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 get a little bit of a win, and then it's to lose, lose, get a little bit of a win. You know, there's a kind of a heartbeat or a rhythm to that sort of thing. Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark ultimately loses the whole thing. Like, he has a goal, and he sort of gets it, but then he fails. Then he sort of gets it again, and then he fails again. And then he ultimately fails the whole thing. Does that matter? No. Not really concerned about that, because what we're watching, what we are interested in, what tactics. We know the goal. The goal is stated right up front within the first, 10 minutes of the movie or so, right? So we know exactly what it is that he wants, which is also helpful. Being specific about what that goal is really helps craft the story, in my opinion and my experience. Um, that's probably a topic for a whole other time. But anyway, we know what he wants, and we see what he does to go get it. And every time he goes to get it, something goes wrong, right? Even though he makes these little victories, something goes wrong. So if you can look at the layout of Raiders of the Lost Ark and start thinking about those beats like a sword fight, like a fencing match, we're going to go here. Oh, block, that didn't work. All right, try here. Ah, there's a touch. You know, it's this back and forth, this give and take. That's what makes the stories so compelling. And so I want that from every scene in your story. Now, there are going to be scenes that maybe this is just a tender love scene between, you know, the two romantic leads. That's fine, but it's still moving the story forward. We're still building that relationship. Each one of those characters still wants something, even if what they want is the same thing. They are pursuing that goal. That's the thing that we want, okay? And even if you have this lovely little, you know, downtime, we're going to stop and think and catch our breath or whatever, or, you know, that sort of scene, that's great. But guess what happens in the next scene? Something better go wrong, right? You can build them up, but your job as the writer is to then tear them down. We beat the crap out of our protagonists. That is our point. That is our function. We never want to make it easy for them. We want to throw as many sword blows at them as we possibly can. So think about the goal. What is the goal? Has it been stated yet? Does the reader know clearly what the protagonist's goal is? To defeat the dragon, to get the Ark of the Covenant, to, whatever it is, solve the murder. Do we know what the protagonist's goal is right out of the gate? And can we clearly see the tactics that they use to achieve that goal? Whether that's an actual sword fight in a fantasy story or something like that, or if it's just in dialogue, if it's just a back and forth, going back and forth. You might want to check out some Aaron Sorkin work because he's a master at that sword fighting dialogue going back and forth. Well worth studying there. So even if you're in a setting where it's all talk, where it's just people in suits having conversations, like in a courtroom, for example, or something like that, that's fine. But that dialogue is still very much a sword fight. It is still very much somebody wants something and they're going to fight the other thing, the opposition, to get it. Okay? So if you have that in mind with each scene that you write or each scene that you revise, then chances are very good your story is going to have good pacing and it's going to carry the reader along so that they cannot put down the story. And that, of course, is our goal. That, of course, is what we are after. And this is the tactic we're going to use to get that. Okay, that's it. Pretty simple, not necessarily easy, but pretty simple. Hope you've enjoyed. Again, please leave me a comment. Let me know how things are going. I'd love to know the kinds of things that you're working on right now and anything else that I can do for you. Any other topics you'd like covered in videos or in blogs and that sort of thing. That'd be really cool. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure and hit subscribe and like and do all that kind of good stuff because I really want to build the channel up to talk more about these kinds of things, okay? And check out some of the other videos. That would be super cool. So, hope you have a great Monday. I hope you're able to get some writing done today. And if not, I hope you're able to get some thinking done today. Don't forget to give yourself time to just think about stuff and think about that story, brainstorm, do whatever you got to do to get those creative juices flowing, okay? Give yourself that time because you deserve it, okay?